Yeah, recording. There's only 50% battery. Is the speaker thing on? Ready?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm nervous.
Should we leave?
Let's just go with the flow. I don't know. I think that's just corny.
We're not going with the flow.
No, I feel corny. Let's do something like
We
normal. We wouldn't do that in real life. We wouldn't be like, "Hey, y'all."
I feel
when
like
would
I
we
do.
ever do that?
I feel like I
We
would.
would not do that together.
I wouldn't?
No, you would not. Hey, guys. No, we would never do that.
I think it's cute. I think I do wave sometimes. Okay. Alright, I just like to start. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a special guest, the other half, the better half of me. This is Tony, my husband.
Nice to meet you guys.
For some of you who have known me through this YouTube channel, Tony and I, we are a husband and wife wedding photography team here in the Washington, D.C. area. And a lot of times he can't do videos with me because he also works 40 hours a week at his first job. Mm-hmm. Which, would you want to explain anything about that?
Yeah, so basically for the last 10 years I've been an electrician in Washington, D.C. area, DMV as we call it. So I actually got into photography when I met Andy. Photography came secondhand to me, so I do it part-time while Andy does it full-time. And obviously I'm there every wedding day, and I'm her second shooter.
You're the other shooter, not the second shooter.
I like that.
You're still number one. We got two number one shooters. That's the coolest thing about us. We're always shoot every single wedding together. We never hire out a second shooter. We always have two lead shooters with us. So we figured that the best way to have Tony's first video on the YouTube channel would be to have a Q&A. So all of you on Instagram who follow us on Instagram, you guys wrote in questions for us. So it's not a crazy long. It's not a lot.
No, okay. I'm just curious what the questions are.
It's not. And they're actually really good questions. Very good questions. So this is going to be fun. Okay, so the first question is, what is something that you've always wanted to photograph but have yet to do it?
For me, I'm a big car guy, so it would be maybe a picture of a car like a Bugatti Chiron or something like super rare, exotic like that. But
when do you think that'll happen for you?
Eventually.
Like soon?
Maybe.
Like put it out in the universe.
I don't know. I've kind of, over this last couple of years, I've kind of learned to not try to set goals on certain things like that because I don't even know where one is right now. So I'm not going to set a goal on something I can't even, you know what I mean? It'll just happen. Someone will lead to somebody and it'll just work its way out.
If you know someone who has one, you hit us up.
Bugatti Chiron.
Bugatti. I don't really have anything that's just for me, but for Costola as a whole, I would love for us to do a destination wedding in Europe.
Yeah.
Like
event-wise.
Like that's a huge goal.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
It doesn't have to be Italy, although like Italy is definitely our number one place in the whole world. But It doesn't have to be Italy. But if it was anywhere in Europe, I would love that. Just like the old world architecture, it's just so romantic. And no, that's a huge bucket list item for me. What has been unexpected about marriage?
I don't know.
Unexpected.
It was unexpected for me to have someone in a marriage that I could actually work with the way I do. Like I always knew whoever I married, I would have to be able to have like that, goal-oriented, mindset person. Like it's kind of like goal-driven like me, which obviously you are. But I think it even works. It works out better. We click and mesh better than I would have even hoped. So that was an unexpected plus.
Something unexpected for me. I always, maybe guys probably don't do this, but I know almost every one of like my girlfriends have been this way, that ever since you're like a little girl, you have these numbers in your head that like you want to, like, I want to be married by this time, and then I'm going to have kids, and I'm going to have a house by like this age, And I always imagined that as soon as I got married, I would want to have kids. And that's definitely not been the case because we've had some other goals that have been pushed in front of that goal just for things to be easier for us, like more prepared. So that's something that was unexpected. I don't think I was waiting. I wasn't expecting to be married just like, just the two of us for even, we'll be married like 3 years and still not have any kids, which is great. I mean, I love the path that we're on, but it just wasn't what I like told myself when I was a little girl, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what my expectations were in that department. I really kind of...
Did you just have like a before this number, like before 30 or something?
I think I just always told myself whenever I felt like it was right, because I just...
What is Jesus teaching you?
I think Jesus is teaching me to keep an open mind for what my life will look like, because I've done electrical for over a decade and I didn't see myself really diving into anything else substantial, and now I have. It just goes to show me, like, who knows what else he has planned, and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, that was actually something that definitely hit close to home for me this morning, even during the sermon that we were listening to, was that, like, God already has things written out for you. And so for us to get worried, or for me to get worried about things, or what if we don't book the number of weddings that we want for 2020, and like you start comparing yourself to other people and the numbers that they're hitting, and it's like, God's already got it, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like, even if, let's say, we didn't hit the numbers that we wanted for weddings, which is not looking like an issue whatsoever, but like, let's say, God forbid that happened, he already has it written out, and he already has a different plan for us, if that's what it is, you know? But like, if he wants us to hit those numbers, they're going to be hit. You know, as long as we're putting in the work, which he's got it, there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite friends? So my best friend roommate in college, her name's Shelby, she wrote this one in, and then she put a little winky face and then a just kidding. But I was like, girl, if you typed it in, I'm going to add it in. So I will say I have 6 best girlfriends, and they've been like my 6 best girlfriends for my whole life. So there's, well, not my whole life, because some of them came in during college, but there's Shelby, my roommate from college. I have Marissa, who's my sorority sister from college. And then I have Caroline, who's been best friends with me since I was 8. Haley, who I've been best friends since I was 17. Hannah, who I've been best friends with since I was 16, and Sarah, who I've been best friends with also since I was 8, but she lives in Nashville currently. So those are my favorite friends.
Oh, I'm kind of different.
You've got a lot of good friends. Like guys are like cool like that. Girls, it's like you find your group, and like that's who you stick with. At least for me, anyway. But guys are so like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give a huge long list because I'm not trying to ramble.
That's what I just did.
That's not, I'm not getting on you. My best friend is Anthony Anderson. Me and him growing up together. He's a 6'9" black guy, and he's freaking just hilarious, and he's like family to me. I have a bunch of other friends along the way. But Anthony's my best friend, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm not trying to. It's like MySpace when you had to pick like your top 8, and then you feel like you're leaving someone out. So I'm not gonna.
I have a top 6, and I don't care if anyone does it. Okay, how did you begin Costola together?
It was on accident, really.
Yes.
So basically, story goes as I remember it. You basically. We were dating, and you were graduating college with a degree in photography and film, and we were undecided on what you wanted to do as a career goal. And
I was just trying to find a job. I mean, you need a job.
Yeah, basically you're getting a lot of influence from family and others to kind of do like the government thing, or and basically I've kind of come from an entrepreneurial background. A lot of my family members have had like their own businesses, big or small. So like my mind immediately went to like, hey, you know, why don't you do something on your own? But it's tough, you know, because there's a million avenues you could go with photography, honestly.
Right.
Weddings, like how did it get to that? I guess she had done a couple weddings for friends.
Yeah, people had asked me to do their wedding. Like, I didn't reach out to other people asking to do their weddings. They just asked me if I could do it. So it started out, I had no
budget.
And I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I was just going and I was just documenting, but like I didn't know the structure of a wedding day. I didn't know all the things that go into it. Things that like, after you've done weddings so much, you know the things to look for, because although all weddings are different, they're also pretty much the same. So like things like when the bride is getting dressed into her dress, and you know you make sure that you're not only photographing that, but you're also looking around the room to see people's reactions and like capture that. When you're first starting out, like you would never think about that because you're too busy thinking like, how am I going to get a good picture of this girl getting in her dress? Like you don't have instincts yet. Yeah, there's no instincts whatsoever, and you're very much just trying to figure it out. So anyway, that kind of started that, and then it grew, and then you proposed, and we decided to rebrand because it used to be Andy Youngkin Photography. So then we rebranded into Costola, and we've been doing everything together ever since.
Yeah.
So, well, tell us your love story.
Oh my gosh.
I think you should do it from your point of view. I feel like I've told enough people.
Where it really set sail, I would say, more than anything, because we've actually met each other a handful of times over the years prior to this. So me and Andy are a few years apart in age, but went to, ironically, the same elementary, middle, and high school, we found out. Always kind of knew of each other, but we never really crossed paths, I guess you'd say. So one night I was at a local bar, Green Turtle, for those of you who have a Green Turtle in your area. I'd always kind of had a crush on Andy, and story goes, apparently she had a crush on me. Neither did me.
I literally remember when Tony finally asked me out to dinner, I called my best friend Haley and I was like, you're never going to believe who just asked me out to dinner. And she was like, Tony and Gagliano. And I was like, yes, do I go? Like, do I even go? Because at that point you're like, you've worked it up so much in your brain that you like, you know, that like you have this crush on this person. So like, what if he's not the person that like I think he is, you know? And like, then I'll be disappointed. But anyway, sorry.
The funny part of the story goes, at one point in time, I had messaged Andy a long time ago because I'm a gearhead and I love cars. She had a 65 pink Mustang. She still has it. I had messaged her and I was like, hey, kind of like being sly, like is my way to like talk to this girl that I think is cute, trying to make a connection somehow. So I was like, hey, like, can I get a ride in your Mustang one day? And you're like, oh yeah, one day. I can't remember exactly what you said, but it was like, you know, open-ended, like, yeah, one day. So I seen her. She wasn't around because she was at college, so I never got to really see her anymore. So I see her at the bar, and I'm like, it's been a long time. I'm going to ask about this Mustang ride. I was like, still an icebreaker. I can still use it. So I asked her, and she was so weird. Like,
hey.
She pretty much blew me off.
I get really nervous, okay? I get really, like, I really, really liked him, and so I didn't want to come across as, like, desperate or needy, so I was trying to play it cool, you know, like cool and flirty, and I think it just kind of came across as, like, don't talk to me, I'm not interested in you.
That's exactly, yeah, I was about to say what it came off across, and you nailed it. That's pretty much, I was like, dang, I was like, all right. Like, I have no idea if that means, I don't even know what that means, but it didn't seem good.
Yeah, because I think literally I looked over my shoulder and I was like, yeah, one day. And then I like literally turned my face.
Yeah, you were so rude. You were so rude.
But that was me trying, okay, so that's what like really happened, but this is how I thought it was happening. Yeah, maybe one day. Wink, wink, yeah. You know, like flirty.
Oh, wow. But anyway, so then that led to hours later, Amy had a few more drinks in her, and then she ended up putting her hand like on the small of my back and just like looked at me, and the way she looked at me, basically I had a feeling she might have liked me after that. And then I still didn't know.
Now, is she flirting now? I don't know.
Yeah, and then, so basically it took her liking like the last 6 or 7 pictures on my social media like in a row, and I was like, okay, she likes me. So
yeah, I basically just hopped on his Instagram and I was like, double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap, and I did that to like 5 in a row.
So then I was like, all right, I gotta ask her. At least I know you're interested, so I could take the next step. Because I don't know, I get like gun shy when like, especially when you were acting like you kind of were interested, but we're interested, and I was like, I don't know.
Clearly I don't know how to flirt. That's good.
But yeah, then we went on an awesome first date, and I took her to a restaurant that I had finished, and that we did the electric work on.
I can hear that.
Sorry. I have ADD, so I fiddle with a lot of things. Yeah, and they give us the chef seats, like the best seats in the house, and
it's delicious Greek food.
yeah, it was amazing food. We ate way too much, and the love story goes on and on. It's still going, but I don't know. That was chapter 1.
Yeah, chapter 1's good. On a wedding day, who eats more cake?
I guess me.
You. I like never even eat cake.
I feel like I see you sneaking cake all the time.
Sometimes I'll have a piece, but it has to be like a specific flavor. But you eat cake every time. Every time. Right. It's okay. Don't be ashamed.
I really I'm not a huge fan of cake either, so I disagree. I usually go for the cookies.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a dessert table, I think you do pick something
Honestly,
else,
I usually wait till the very end of the night because I feel weird about eating I wait till someone in the family is like, oh, go ahead, we got plenty, get in there. I'm like,
do you watch the same TV shows and read the same books?
not so much books, but TV shows, yeah, because whatever's on the TV, we're watching together.
We were trying out YouTube TV, and we've been like watching SNL reruns for the past couple nights, and that's been pretty entertaining. But honestly, we really don't like to watch TV that much if we can help it. When we used to live at his old house, we did not have, I think we had like disconnected all the TVs.
Yeah, we just didn't have any cable or really. I don't know. I can't remember.
So we just hung out all the time.
This is a terrible answer of this question.
What's your favorite date night ideas? I like it when you take me out on dates.
I like going to a nice restaurant in DC with good food and good wine.
Yeah. Any place that has good food and good wine, especially wine. I like wine. What is y'all's favorite aspect of your marriage?
I think my favorite aspect would be the team aspect. 1 + 1 actually equals more than 2. Like you get so much more done when you're on the same wavelength and you have someone to pick up where you slack off and you can pick up where they slack off.
My favorite thing is probably how much you make me laugh. You can make me laugh a lot when you want to.
That's good.
And you're also super, super sweet and like soft and romantic, and I like that too. I like your soft side. How long did Tony shoot before you guys met?
Yeah, pretty much 0. Actually,
None. I taught you how to use a camera.
Well, true. As far as like funny story is, my grandmother was a huge camera nut, and I mean when I say camera nut, I'm not talking like the nicest camera in the world or a professional photographer. My grandma was strictly amateur, but like the woman probably took 1 million+ photos in her day. Like every time we were over there, the camera was out. But so when I grew up, I actually had an Olympus, whatever. I can't remember what the model was, but she actually gave me my first camera, and I used to shoot. It was film, obviously.
I think it shows where you got like your artistic eye. So for sure, I mean that counts. But when it comes to professional shooting, no, he didn't know how.
Yeah. Cut. I feel like this chair makes me sit funny. Maybe we need
This is not just about Tony. This is about me too.
Alright, don't put this in. No, it's not. Keep up.
I feel like now we're so far away.
I don't know why I'm so weird. I have one of Andy's hairs in my sweater.
Sorry.
I'm freaking out.
You are making so much noise.
I know.
Stop touching stuff.
Get all this stuff out of here.
Just-
Cut. Redo.